In this video, we're going to find the trig values of some special angles. So here are some special angles. In fact, you were shown in class, and we have asked on many quizzes for you to find these. I'm just going to remind you, if you want to try to get these, to get 45 degrees, you start off with an isosceles right triangle, a 1 and 1, use the Pythagorean theorem here. Since this is an isosceles right triangle, these two angles are the same. Since they have to be the same and it all has to add up to 180, we know that these are both 45. And then you'll be able to get that the sine, using SOHCAHTOA, the sine of 45 is radical 2 over 2. The cosine of 45 is equal to radical 2 over 2. And the tangent of 45 is going to be equal to 1. There's for 45. Now for 30 and 60 degrees, we start with an equilateral triangle. Since each of those sides is the same, we also know that each of these angles is 60 degrees. Up there is also 60 degrees. I'm going to call this a length of 1, a length of 1, and a length of 1. If I take and I split this equilateral triangle right in half, that means that this angle is 30. And here I have a right triangle. Since this is a 1 and this side was a 1, what is the length of this side? That's right, if you said that it's 1/2. If we use the Pythagorean theorem, we'll get that this is radical 3 over 2. And now we can use SOHCAHTOA. So the sine of 30 degrees is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the sine of 30 is 1/2. The cosine of 30 degrees is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so this is radical 3 over 2. And the tangent of 30 degrees is the sine over the cosine, so that's the sine multiplied by the reciprocal of the cosine, so that's going to become radical 3 over 3. How about the sine, cosine, and tangent of 60? The sine of 60 is the opposite over the hypotenuse, so that's radical 3 over 2. The cosine of 60 is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so that's 1/2. And the tangent of 60, well, that's the sine divided by the cosine, so that's the sine times the reciprocal of the cosine, which in this case is radical 3. Here are all of the values of the special angles. Here is a way to help you remember those. So what I showed you is the way to find these. Here's a way just to help you remember them. Okay? So I'm going to draw, first of all, a great big unit circle here. And I'm going to put in a coordinate axis. So we have the first quadrant. Go ahead and just draw in, where is 30 degrees? 30 degrees is right about there. And I'll put a 30. Where is 45 degrees? 45 degrees is right about there. This one is 45, so label that one as 45. Where is 60 degrees? Well, 60 degrees is right about there, and I will label this one as 60 degrees. So there it says 30, there it says 45, and there it says 60. Now make nice big room for labeling the coordinates of these points. So here is the coordinates of the points for 30, here's the coordinates of the points for 45, there's the coordinates of the points for 60. The interesting thing is, notice how we're just going to do this, the cosine and the sine, the cosine and the sine, the cosine and the sine. Look at the sine and the cosine. See how the denominator is a 2, the denominator is a 2. Look there, the denominator is a 2, the denominator is a 2, the denominator is a 2, the denominator is a 2. The denominators for all of these are 2s, so go ahead and label, put in the 2, here I have the 2 over 2, over 2. So all of those are 2s. Now I'm going to go through. I'm going to start at the top right here. I'm going to label that, put a 1. I'm going to put a 2. I'm going to put a 3. Going the other way, I'm going to start here with a 1. I'm going to put a 2. And I'm going to put a 3. Now this doesn't quite look what we have here. Now we have to take the square root of every numerator. What is the square root of 1? Yes, the square root of 1 is 1, so we leave it. The square root of 2, I have to put radical 2 there. The square root of 3, this is a radical 3 there. The square root of 1 is 1, so we leave it. What is the square root of 2? Yes, that's radical 2. And here we have radical 3. So this right here now is giving you all of the values that you need If you can remember how to draw this picture, you will know the trig values for the most important trig functions.